I'm 84 years old, and let me tell you something most people do not want to hear after 70. Your body is already telling you more about your future than your doctor probably is, not in some dramatic way, not with a warning siren, not with one terrible symptom that changes everything overnight. It tells you quietly, in how you walk, in how you sleep, in how you stand, in how your mind works, in how your body recovers, in how much life is still moving through you. And the saddest part is this: most people do not pay attention until the signs become impossible to ignore. By then, something important has already been lost: strength, confidence, freedom, time. So today, I want to give you something better than false comfort. I want to give you clarity. There are 6 signs, just 6, that can tell you a great deal about how long you may live after 70, and more importantly, how well you may live. Not guesses, not superstition, not empty motivation. Real signs that show whether your body is still working with you or quietly beginning to turn against you. And if you are honest with yourself about these 6 signs, you can change your future while it still belongs to you. That is the important part. Because this is not a video about fear. It is a video about warning. And warning, if you listen in time, is one of the great mercies of life. I have lived long enough to know this. What ruins most older people is not age itself. It is late attention. So let us begin, and I want you to stay with me all the way through, because the last sign is the one people overlook most, even though it may shape all the others. Sign number 1, your walking speed. I know, it sounds almost too simple to matter, but walking speed tells the truth about a person faster than many medical tests do. Because walking is not just walking. Walking is your muscles, your balance, your heart, your lungs, your brain, your confidence, and your nervous system all working together at once. When those systems are doing well, a person moves with life still inside them. When those systems begin failing, the slowing often shows up in the walk before it shows up anywhere else. I have seen this in people I knew. There was a man in our neighborhood, Walter, who used to walk every morning with such quiet steadiness that you hardly noticed him. Then one year he began slowing down. At first everyone said the same thing people always say: "Oh, he's just getting older." But it was not just age, it was decline. His legs were weaker, his breathing shorter, his confidence shakier, his body less willing to move through the world. And because walking speed changed, his whole life changed right behind it. He went out less, got tired faster, became more dependent, lost strength more quickly. And within 2 years, he was no longer living the life he thought he still had time to keep. That is what people miss. Walking speed is not about impressing anyone. It is about whether your body still has reserve. Reserve is what keeps you independent. Reserve is what helps you recover after illness, after a fall, after surgery, after grief, after one bad month. If your walking has become slow, heavy, uncertain, or breathless, do not dismiss it with that lazy sentence people love to use. That's just aging. Sometimes it is aging, but aging is not an explanation. It is a process. And if the process is moving too fast, you must respond. So ask yourself honestly, do I still walk with purpose? Can I keep pace comfortably? Do I get breathless too early? Do I avoid walking because I no longer trust my body? These are not small questions. They are future questions. The good news is that walking speed can improve, not through miracles, through consistency, daily walks, leg strength work, better stamina, Better confidence, more movement, a faster, stronger walk often means a more resilient future, and after 70, resilience matters more than almost anything. Sign number 2, your grip strength. Now this is one of those signs people laugh at until life humbles them. Grip strength, the strength in your hands. What could that possibly say about longevity? Quite a lot, as it turns out. Because grip strength is not really about the hands, it is about the body's overall strength reserve. It is one of the clearest outward signs of whether your muscles are staying with you or quietly leaving. And muscle loss after 70 is not cosmetic. It is dangerous. Weak muscles mean weaker balance. Weaker balance means more falls. More falls mean more fear. More fear means less movement. Less movement means even more weakness. That is how the spiral begins. Many older people notice grip weakness in small, humiliating moments first. A jar they cannot open. A grocery bag that suddenly feels too heavy. A pan that feels less secure in the hand. A railing they grip but do not feel strong against. Those moments matter. Because the body rarely announces decline dramatically at first. It whispers. Grip strength is one of those whispers. I remember a woman named Nora who used to pride herself on doing everything herself. Then she started asking her grandson to open things for her, then to carry more for her, then to lift things she once would not have thought twice about. Again, everyone said, "That's normal." And perhaps some of it was, but beneath it was something real. The body was losing its hold, not just on objects, on function. That is the phrase I want you to remember, losing hold on function. Because after 70, strength is freedom. Strength lets you remain in your own kitchen, your own bathroom, your own errands, your own life. So test yourself honestly. Do your hands still feel reliable? Can you carry what daily life requires? Can you hold, grip, twist, and lift without hesitation? And if not, do not panic, but do not ignore it either. Hand exercises help. Resistance training helps. Using the body helps. Even light strength work done consistently can change the whole direction of aging. After 70, weakness does not stay politely in one place. It spreads. So when you protect strength, you protect far more than muscle. You protect independence. Sign number 3, your mental sharpness. Now this one frightens people, and I understand why. Because when the mind changes, people start imagining the worst, but the truth is more complicated. Mental sharpness is not just about whether you forget names sometimes. Everyone forgets things. That is not the issue. The issue is whether your mind still feels awake, clear, and responsive to life. Can you follow conversations? Can you remember what matters? Can you make decisions? Can you stay oriented in your day? Can you think through simple problems without feeling lost? Because after 70, the mind does not only store memory, it protects survival. A sharp mind notices danger, manages medication, keeps track of bills, reads social cues, avoids bad decisions, maintains confidence. When mental sharpness fades, life becomes harder in ways people do not always notice right away. The danger is not always dementia. Sometimes the danger is softer than that. Confusion, fog, overwhelm, withdrawal, reduced confidence, less willingness to engage, and those things shrink a person's world quickly. I knew a man after his wife died who was not demented at all. He was lonely, understimulated, grieving, and mentally drifting. That drifting made him forgetful. That forgetfulness made him anxious. That anxiety made him withdraw, and the withdrawal made everything worse. What people called old age was actually disuse. That is why I say this to older people. The brain is not a cupboard you fill once and leave alone. It must be used, challenged, engaged, fed, exercised. Reading helps, conversation helps, writing helps, games help, learning helps, curiosity helps. A person who stops mentally reaching often ages faster than the body alone would require. So be honest, is your mind still active? Or are you beginning to live only in routine? Routine can be good, but too much routine without stimulation can dim a person quietly, and once mental dimming begins, physical decline often follows faster. So protect the mind, not because you are trying to become young again, because clarity is one of the pillars of staying alive well. Sign number 4, your resting heart and recovery. Now let us talk about the heart, not sentiment, the actual heart. After 70, how your heart behaves when you are resting and how quickly your body recovers after effort can tell you a great deal about your future. A body in good condition does not only perform when moving, it recovers well when still. That is the key. A strong heart works efficiently, a tired heart works constantly. And many older people do not notice this until their energy begins shrinking around them. They stop doing things not because they choose a smaller life, but because the body begins charging too high a price for ordinary effort. Stairs feel heavier. Walking takes longer to recover from. One outing tires them for the whole day. A bad night's sleep wrecks the next morning. Stress hits harder. Heat feels worse. Small illnesses take too much out of them. This is not just being tired. Sometimes it is the heart telling you your reserve is lower than you think. I knew a retired schoolmaster who always insisted he was fine because he still got around. But what he did not say was that after every small errand, he sat for an hour recovering. He thought movement alone proved health. It did not. Recovery tells truth too. If your heart is strong, your body settles again. If it is struggling, everything lingers too long. So pay attention. How quickly do you recover after climbing stairs, after walking, after carrying groceries, after stress? Do you feel settled again, or does your body stay unsettled too long? This matters. Because longevity is not just about surviving effort, it is about recovering from it. That is what keeps people functioning longer. And the good news, again, is that the heart responds to care. Walking, light aerobic movement, better sleep, less chronic stress, medical checkups, taking symptoms seriously. A stronger heart often means more years with energy still inside them. And after 70, energy is not a luxury, it is part of dignity. Sign number 5, your balance. Now, if you ask me, balance is one of the cruelest signs of aging because it looks so small until one bad moment changes everything. A person can lose speed and still manage, lose some strength and still adapt, forget a few things and still function, but balance is unforgiving because bad balance turns one missed step into a hospital visit. And for many older people, the hospital visit is not the real danger. The real danger is what comes after, fear. People change after falls, even when nothing breaks. They trust less, move less, go out less, try less, and that shrinking becomes its own injury. So yes, balance matters enormously. Can you stand steadily? Can you turn without wobbling? Can you climb and step down without dread? Can you walk without always searching for something to hold? If your balance is going, your world may already be getting smaller, even if you have not admitted it yet. There was a woman I knew who stopped going to church. Everyone assumed she had become less social. The truth was much sadder. She no longer trusted herself on the steps. That is what poor balance steals first, confidence. And confidence is often what keeps older people engaged with life. So work on it. Stand on one leg near a support. Strengthen the legs. Practice stability. Walk more. Stretch. Stay active. You do not need to become graceful. You need to remain trustworthy to yourself. That is what balance really gives you. Trust in your own body. And when that trust remains, so does much of life. Sign number 6, your outlook on life. Now stay with me here, because many people hear this kind of sign and roll their eyes. They think positive outlook means fake smiling, pretending, blind optimism, some shallow motivational nonsense. That is not what I mean. I mean this. After 70, does life still pull you forward? Do you still have reasons to get up, call someone, plan something, care about tomorrow? Or have you slowly started turning away from life? That question matters more than people understand, because outlook shapes behavior, and behavior shapes health. A person with some hope usually moves more, eats better, calls sooner when something feels wrong, engages more, recovers better from setbacks. A person who feels finished often stops protecting themselves with the same seriousness. They say things like, "What's the point? At my age, who cares? It is what it is." Those phrases sound harmless. They are not. They are surrender in everyday language, and surrender changes the body. I have seen widowed people age 10 years in 1 year, not because grief alone did that, but because somewhere inside them the future went dark. No reason to improve, no reason to try, no reason to plan, no reason to strengthen, and when that happens, decline moves faster. That is why outlook matters, not because positive thinking is magic, because outlook determines whether a person keeps participating in life. Do you still laugh? Do you still want things? Do you still notice beauty? Do you still imagine next month, next spring, next birthday? Do you still believe your life is still happening? That is the deeper question, because many people over 70 are alive, but no longer leaning toward life. And when that inward leaning stops, health often follows it downward. So protect hope, even small hope, the hope of a better morning, a good cup of tea, a phone call, a walk in the sun, a grandchild visiting, a plant growing, a book waiting, a chair by the window, a day still yours. Small hope is still hope, and hope is fuel. Now let us bring all of this together. These 6 signs are not fortune-telling. They are not perfect predictions. But together they tell a story. How you walk, how strong you remain, how sharp your mind feels, how your body recovers, how stable you are, how much life still pulls you forward. That story matters. Because after 70, longevity is not only about years, it is about quality, function, freedom, reserve, recovery, purpose. And if 1 or 2 of these signs are weaker than they should be, do not waste time pretending not to notice. That is what too many people do. They wait, excuse, delay, rename decline as normal. And then they are shocked by consequences that announce themselves months or years earlier. Do not do that. If walking is slower, start moving. If strength is fading, start building. If the mind is duller, start engaging. If recovery is poor, start caring for the heart. If balance is weaker, start training. If outlook is dimming, start protecting meaning. You still have influence. That is the message I want to leave with you. You still have influence, not over everything, not over time itself, not over every disease or every sorrow, but over enough to change your direction, enough to slow decline, enough to add better years, enough to protect the life you still have. I'm 84 years old, and if I have learned anything worth passing on, it is this. Old age does not only ask what is happening to your body, it asks what you are doing in response. That is where the future begins. So do not be frightened by these 6 signs. Use them. Let them wake you up while waking up still helps. Because one of the saddest things in life is not aging. It is noticing too late that your body had been trying to warn you for years. Thank you for listening, and if you still have time to strengthen what is weakening, start now, not next month, not when it gets worse. Now, because your future is already being shaped by what you do after hearing the truth.